Welcome to Tia's Conversation Lounge. Thank you for joining today. Our conversation is going to be about a wonderful idea and how you can cope as a new parent. And this trick, I wouldn't call it a trick, this amazing strategy can get you through tough times. So let's get to it. So, this is something that beloved Tony has learned through a mentor of mine, and I'm applying it here as a mother. And this works wonders. Are you ready? Yes. So, I'm a first time mom, okay, guys, and I don't know about you, but if you're a mom, there are so many changes that our little ones go through. They go through so many challenges, so many different periods or phases of growth that impact their sleep, whether it be teething, that's a major one. It could be just psychological growth and development, emotional changes, you name it. They're going through so much and, need the most compassion and care during these times. But have you ever noticed that even though you want to show up as that most loving, compassionate parent, that something else shows up instead? Because I have noticed that in myself. I've noticed that there are triggers. I've noticed that there are parts of me that show up that's not love. And in that moment of awareness, gratefully, I'm able to see it, right? Some people are not. But if you can see it and you're aware enough to notice that your energy is not the same or something has shifted or changed, then you're in a greater position to be able to choose love, And one of the wonderful ways to do this, guys, listen, you're waking up early in the morning and you're tired. All right. This is real, guys. This is real because those wake up times can wake you up when you're like not even expecting it. You're in deep sleep. You're like, yeah, this is going to be a nice, wonderful, restful night. And then boom, you're on maybe 2 to 3 hours of sleep, whatever amount you're getting. And you got to get up. Now, think about it. You're getting up against, not wanting to get up. So there's resistance there already. And then 2, you're having to console and step into compassion and kindness as your little one is needing your care and love during their most vulnerable time. So who do we need to be in that moment, right? So I've learned from my own experience, that the better part of me is very loving, it's kind, it's compassionate. I'm just looking at my son in the monitor. It's kind, it's compassionate, it's caring, it's selfless. And the tug of war that I've noticed internally is a selfish ego and a selfless parent. And that is what I'm having to tweak and work on. And I'm going to talk about that in another video because that's huge in being a first-time parent, that you have there could be selfishness that comes up from the selfish ego that is not very kind, generous, and wanting to give. But that's another conversation. So the wonderful strategy, I'm going to keep this video short, is really truly tapping into your child. Yeah, this works for me, guys. This is like miraculous work, okay? Because it's like the creme de la creme. It's like the creme de la creme. It works all the time for me. And the shift is this. How do you see your child? Yeah. How do you see your child? This is so important, guys. Now I'm going to share with you how I see my child. And this is what allows me to treat my son with love and care and to step into that vortex of compassion and care when I need to, It's how I see my child. And when I put him in that light of reverence and respect, then that's what allows me to want to shift in those times when my energy levels may be lower, or I'm tired, or like I want to sleep, or I feel that like I just feel like I need time to recoup, and the moment hasn't, and stuff arise where I'm not able to. It's like really going on overdrive, you know. I don't know if the word is overdrive, but you know, when you're ready, your tank is on E and you need to fill up. Yeah. So, what is the strategy? How do you see your child? And how you see your child impacts how you treat your child. And this is my observation. If I see my child just as someone who is just a body, a personality that I've created, then that leaves room. That leaves room for mistreatment. That leaves room for ego to not treat with reverence and respect, because I'm only seeing the child as a body and as someone that I am, you know, that has come from me. Now, from that perspective, that doesn't work for me. The second way, the way that works for me is this. I see my child as a soul. I see my son as someone who's a sovereign being, worthy of respect. And I see my son as someone who is already full of, is equal and worthy of respect. And I see my son as the creator. Now, you may, depending on your faith and your belief system, you know, you can always utilize whatever it is works for you. It could be your grandmother that you absolutely adore and love. It could be your grandpa. I don't know. Whatever it is, you can use as the way to see your child, you know, to treat your child, to see the face of that person on your child. I know. So for me, it would be I see my son as the creator, as the beloved, the creator of all that is expressing itself through my child. And therefore my son has a soul that's sacred and worthy of reverence and love and respect. So this comes back down to my role and responsibility as a parent. And by understanding that role and responsibility, then I can own it. And we can have another video for just role and responsibility as a parent, because that is a whole different thing. I need to learn what that is, you know. My role and responsibility as a parent. What are my boundaries? What am I allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do? That is, that keeps to the agreement and the covenant I've made with his soul, or my child's soul, because I believe that we make an agreement and a covenant with the child's soul to protect, to love, to care, to serve, and to give the best of ourselves. And so how I see my child determines how I treat my child. Yeah. So, I don't know, try it out, see if you want to, and let me know if you do, how this works for you. You know, if we are seeing our child greater than just a body, and we acknowledge the divinity of that unique blueprint of your child or my child, then we are stepping out of the vortex of just an ego, and we're looking at the child for their pure divine essence. And during that time of need, we're stepping into that place, and we're holding the container of love for our children, to love them, to care for them, and to show we love and care. Now, this is not always easy. When you're waking up in the middle of the night, what I've noticed, and this has happened to me, I don't know if it's happened to you or not, or anyone else, but if it does, well, I know I'm not alone, okay? That there are negative forces in the unconscious that want to harm the child. And in your most vulnerable time, when you're sleep deprived, especially as first-time moms, sleep deprivation can trigger so many things and bring up like the darkest part of the human nature, you know, and cause us to do things that we normally would not do because we're tired and you have needs that are not necessarily being met because all your attention is going into taking care of your child, right? So, how do we maintain the love, the compassion, even in our times of sleeplessness or sleep deprivation? How do we keep the torch going and maintain that state of joy and gratitude? So, a couple things I'm going to add in here would be one that helped me when I was going through my postpartum period is how I see my child. And so, because I see my child as a sacred being, I treat my child as such. And when I see myself slipping out of that, I come right back to that. Okay. The second thing is gratitude. Gratitude is a superpower. And with gratitude, I've noticed when I was tired in the middle of the night, I would sing songs of gratitude. And that would help me to stay awake and be in a grateful space during the time when I really wanted to sleep. And it's tough when you're alone at night getting up and your partner's sleeping, or you're alone at night dealing with a colicky baby, or you're alone at night trying to console your baby to sleep, and you're tired, hungry, and your needs have not been met. That's a very vulnerable time for a woman because our mindset can go tank into the negative. And if it happens and we continue to allow that narrative, then it can impact our vibration and how we treat our child. So gratitude is usually what helps me to keep going in the time when I'm really needing to sleep. Now, it takes willpower to make a decision to choose that. So I would sing, I'm grateful for you, even though I may be tired right now. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful I get to spend time with you. I'm grateful I get to play with you. I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful, I'm grateful for you. Whatever it is that you make up from your heart is perfect. And then another strategy that works for me to be forgiveness, forgiving the dark side of motherhood, forgiving that it's not as picture perfect as we may see it on TV, forgiving your child for waking up in the middle of the night, forgiving your child for not putting on their diaper, forgiving your child for, having colic. I don't know. Whatever works. Forgiveness works for me. And that helps me to shift into a place of love. So I think that's all for today. So again, the conversation today is learning the strategies to cope during postpartum and just overall as a parent. This has helped me to go through those moments with love. So thank you for watching. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below. Thank you so much for joining me, and namaste.